Close your eyes and imagine holding a crisp dollar bill in the year 1950. It was a time of post-war optimism, when the American economy was roaring back to life, and everyday life felt simpler, but also full of promise. That single dollar wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a ticket to a surprising amount of goods and services. From nourishing food to entertainment, a dollar could stretch much further than it can today. Consider this. In 2025, a dollar might barely buy you a coffee. Yet in 1950, it could fill your kitchen pantry or buy you a full meal. Inflation, changing markets, and evolving technology have transformed prices, but that dollar back then was mighty. Today, we're going to rewind to uncover 10 things you could get for under $1 in 1950. Items that defined everyday life and reveal a fascinating slice of history. Prepare to be surprised, amused, and maybe even a little nostalgic. 1. A gallon of milk, the essence of daily life. Let's start with something as basic as milk, a daily staple for families across the country. In 1950, a full gallon of milk cost just around 92 cents, comfortably under the dollar mark. Milk wasn't just a beverage, it was a key source of calcium and protein, fueling breakfast cereals, coffee, and after-school snacks for millions of American children. Unlike today's global supply chains, milk was often sourced locally. Farmers delivered fresh bottles straight to your doorstep, or you'd pick them up from neighborhood dairies. That 92-cent investment in milk meant health and sustenance for the entire family for days. A stark contrast to the rising prices we see now, where a gallon routinely costs $3 or more. 2. A pack of cigarettes, the iconic little luxury. Next, a product that tells a story about culture and society. Cigarettes. In 1950, a pack of cigarettes cost roughly 50 cents, just half a dollar. Cigarettes were everywhere, in movie scenes, advertisements, and dinner parties. They were glamorized as symbols of sophistication, rebellion, or relaxation. Brands like Camel, Lucky Strike, Chesterfield, and Pall Mall were household names, aggressively marketed on billboards and in magazines. The price made cigarettes accessible to working-class Americans, soldiers returning from war, and college students alike. Today, the price of cigarettes reflects decades of health campaigns and heavy taxation, but back then, the affordability of smoking helped embed it deeply into American social life. It's a reminder of how economics and culture intertwine, a cheap luxury that shaped generations. 3. A dozen eggs, the versatile protein powerhouse. In 1950, eggs were a kitchen staple, and you could get a dozen for somewhere between 60 and 70 cents, well within that magic dollar mark. Eggs weren't just food. They were the cornerstone of American breakfasts and home cooking. From fluffy scrambled eggs to golden omelets, deviled eggs at picnics, and homemade cakes, eggs were everywhere. What's more, many families still relied on local farms or even backyard chickens for their eggs. This meant the eggs were fresher, often richer in flavor, and came with the added benefit of supporting small-scale agriculture. In a time before the wide availability of processed protein supplements, eggs offered an affordable, complete protein source packed with essential vitamins. For a single dollar, a family could buy enough eggs to fuel breakfasts for several days, create hearty dinners, or bake sweet treats like pies and custards to share with neighbors and guests. This simple, inexpensive ingredient played a huge role in family nutrition and meal traditions across the country. 4. A loaf of bread, the everyday essential bread, has long been known as the staff of life, and in 1950, a loaf cost about 14 to 20 cents. Thanks to advances in industrial baking, mechanized ovens, and efficient packaging, white sandwich bread became a mass-produced, affordable staple available in almost every town. Bread wasn't just a side dish, It was the basis for countless meals: school lunches, quick sandwiches, toast with jam, or a companion to homemade soups and stews. For the typical American family, buying a loaf of bread was easy on the wallet and filled the table with a versatile carbohydrate source that complemented every meal. The affordability of bread meant even families on tight budgets could enjoy filling, satisfying meals that provided energy for work and play. A movie ticket - an affordable escape. In 1950, a movie ticket cost roughly 50 cents - half a dollar - for an evening of entertainment. Movie theaters were more than just places to watch films. They were social hubs where communities gathered to experience the magic of Hollywood. For that modest price, you could enjoy the latest dramas, comedies, musicals, or serial adventures, often with newsreels and cartoons as a bonus. A night out at the movies was accessible to a wide swath of the population, making cinema one of the most democratic forms of entertainment. Compared to today's often sky-high ticket prices, this half-dollar experience was a genuine bargain and a cherished pastime. 6. A loaf of toaster bread. Breakfast made easy. In addition to traditional bread loaves, the 1950s saw the rise of toaster bread, pre-sliced packaged white bread, specifically designed for the new household kitchen gadget, the electric toaster. A loaf of this convenient sliced bread cost around 20 cents, and it revolutionized breakfast routines. Gone were the days of wrestling with a knife to slice fresh bread evenly. Now, mornings were faster, and breakfasts more consistent, with golden toasted slices perfect for butter, jam, or peanut butter. 7. A newspaper, news and entertainment for pennies. For just a few cents, sometimes under 10 cents, you could buy a daily newspaper in 1950, an essential source of news, entertainment, sports, and classifieds. The newspaper was the heartbeat of communities, connecting citizens with local events and the wider world. Families gathered around to read stories, editorials, comics, and advertisements, a ritual that shaped informed, engaged citizens. With under $1, you could purchase a newspaper for an entire week, staying connected in an era before television became dominant. Some surprising under $1 items. A gallon of gas. In 1950, gasoline averaged around 27 cents per gallon, meaning you could fill up a significant part of your car's tank with just $1. A can of Coca-Cola. Bottles of soda could be purchased for around 10 cents, offering an affordable treat. When $1 was a lot of dollars. Looking back at these prices reveals a world where a single dollar could stretch far, buying food, entertainment, and essentials. It's a stark contrast to today's economy, where inflation and changing lifestyles have shifted what money can buy. But thanks for joining this nostalgic journey. If you enjoyed diving into the past with me, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating explorations of history and culture.